Number 14, Casket of Ancient Winters. Have you ever thought winter was bad? Imagine a winter so brutal it could freeze whole worlds solid and never stop snowing. That's the Casket of Ancient Winters, a weapon forged from the essence of the primordial frost giant, aka Ymir. This thing isn't just a fancy Asgardian trinket, it's basically a doomsday freezer set to apocalypse. When opened, the casket doesn't just drop the temperature. It unleashes storms and blizzards strong enough to paralyze armies, bury kingdoms, and even threaten entire realms like Asgard and Earth. Think less snow day and more goodbye civilization. First really showcased in Walt Simon's legendary Thor run, the casket quickly earned a reputation as one of those story-driving artifacts villains and gods alike can't resist chasing. Surtur himself once sought to wield it, and shows that even beings of fire and chaos see the appeal in an endless ice age. Its destructive power isn't flashy reality warping or multiversal trickery, it's raw elemental annihilation. You open it, and suddenly you're looking at climate collapse on a mythic scale. So why does it land at number 14? Because while the casket is terrifying, it's still a one-trick pony. It won't rewrite history, bend minds, or restructure reality itself. What it does is freeze everything, and it does that better than anything else in the Nine Realms. It's the difference between owning a cosmic scalpel and a really, really big hammer made of ice. Deadly, catastrophic, but still bound to the weather forecast. Number 13, Black Vortex. Ever wish you could skip leg day forever and just jump straight to being a god? That's basically what the Black Vortex offers. This celestial forged mirror isn't just for checking your hair. It's for deciding whether you want to instantly upgrade into a cosmic powerhouse. The catch? You have to submit to it, which sounds like a bad dating app, but in practice means you're giving yourself over completely to the Vortex's transformation. Here's actually an example of someone, in this case, Brother Blood, submitting to it. Do that, and suddenly you're playing in the celestial weight class, energy blasts, reality bending, durability that laughs at starships, the works. In its 2015 crossover debut, Black Vortex turned the Marvel cosmic scene into chaos. Characters like Ronan the Accuser, several X-Men, and even some Guardians of the Galaxy found themselves juiced up to near celestial levels. Armies and empires that thought they had the upper hand suddenly had to deal with individuals capable of wiping out fleets or reshaping planetary environments on a whim. The Vortex doesn't just make one person strong, it's contagious, meaning entire sides of a conflict can suddenly become unrecognizably powerful if enough people take the plunge. But here's the thing. The Black Vortex doesn't actually do anything on its own. It's not a button you push to rewrite reality or a bomb that shatters galaxies. It's an upgrade machine. A very scary one, yes, but its influence stops once people accept or refuse its offer. That's why it ranks at 13. Game-changing on a galactic scale, but not quite in the league of artifacts that rewrite the rules of existence. Number 12, the Wand of Watuum. If regular magic wands are like carrying a flashlight, the Wands of Watuum are like holding twin nuclear reactors that also shoot lasers. These crystalline batons, forged by the mystical force known as Watuum, aren't just props for sorcerers to wave around dramatically, they're serious amplifiers. Give one to an average magician, and they might light up a city. Hand them to Doctor Strange, and suddenly he's tossing spells that ripple across dimensions. Throughout Strange's history, the wands have been used as conduits to boost sorcery far beyond normal limits. With them, spells could jump from street-level trickery to cosmic-scale fireworks. They've redirected extra-dimensional beings, reinforced ancient protective sigils, and even helped in the creation of pocket realities. In some storylines, the wands basically act like the magical multipliers, letting a sorcerer throw around the kind of power normally reserved for elder gods or dimensional tyrants. If magic is fuel, the wands are rocket boosters. Still, their danger isn't entirely in the object itself, but in the hands that wield them. A novice with the wands might fry themselves before finishing the first incantation, while a master like Strange can use them to stand toe-to-toe with gods. That's why they land at number 12 on the ranking. They're not inherently rewriting reality on their own, but they can enable almost any magical ambition. no matter how reckless. They're less a weapon and more a cheat code for sorcerers. Terrifying when used right, but still dependent on the skill of the player. So if you see someone that can't even do anything with it, just say skill issue. Number 11, the Eye of Agamotto. It may not look like much more than a shiny amulet, but the Eye of Agamotto is one of the most reliable cheat codes in Doctor Strange's arsenal. Forged by Agamotto, one of the original Vishanti, the eye has been hanging around Strange's neck since the earliest adventures in Strange's tales. While the MCU turned into a flashy time-warping gadget, in the comics its specialty is truth, vision, and piercing through all the magical nonsense of Marvel Universe loves to throw around. The eye has a knack for exposing what's really going on, since it can slice through illusions, sniff out lies, and highlight spells or curses that might otherwise slip past even the Sorcerer Supreme's radar. In the right hands, it doesn't just reveal problems, it can neutralize or redirect hostile magic entirely. Think of it as the ultimate mystical diagnostic tool that also doubles as a shield when things get dicey. Strange has used it on countless crises, often as the key to figuring out what sort of abstract horror he's actually fighting. It doesn't always blow up villains, but it tells them how to win. That's why the Eye earns a spot at number 11. Its value isn't raw destruction, but reliability. In a universe where deception, astral trickery, and reality warping threats lurk around every corner, having a tool that always cuts through the smoke is priceless. The wands of Watuum might let you throw bigger fireballs, but the Eye of Agamotto makes sure you're aiming at the real target. Number 10, the Book of Vishanti. Every sorcerer needs a spell book, but the Book of Vishanti isn't just any dusty tome. It's the magical equivalent of having Google, Wikipedia, and an antivirus program all rolled into one, except written by actual gods. Created by the Vishanti, the trio of benevolent cosmic beings who basically sponsor Earth's Sorcerer Supreme, the book is the ultimate manual for order-based magic. If the Darkhold is the recipe book for chaos and corruption, the Vishanti is the repair guide that fixes everything after someone blows up the kitchen. Within its pages lies a near-endless library of counterspells, protective enhancements, and reality-stabilizing incantations. When Doctor Strange cracks it open, it always seems to have the exact right needed to close a demon portal, repel a dimension-hopping horror, or scrub away the kind of magical infection that would normally turn a hero into a tentacled nightmare. It's been tapped to fuel bigger rituals like sealing off entire realms or rewriting the local rules of reality just enough to keep things from falling apart. What makes the Book of the Vishanti so valuable is that it doesn't just attack, it corrects. It's the cosmic safety net that keeps the magical balance from tipping into oblivion. That's why it earns the number 10 spot. The book might not let you go wild creating your own twisted realities, but it ensures that when someone else does, you've got the ultimate guide to undo the mess. In the Marvel Universe, that's not just helpful, that's survival. Number 9, the Darkhold. Some books change your life. The Darkhold changes your soul, and not in a good way. Known as the Book of the Damned, this cursed grimoire was penned by the elder god Chthon himself, which already tells you it's not going to be a bedtime reading. It's one of Marvel's most infamous magical artifacts, popping up again and again to cause chaos, corruption, and the occasional apocalypse. The Darkhold's pages are stuffed with nasty spells imaginable. We're talking resurrection of the dead, mind control, opening portals between universes, and summoning creatures so ancient they make Galactus look like a toddler. Heroes and villains alike have tried their luck with it, and most come out broken, possessed, or worse. Even simply reading the book is dangerous. Its knowledge burrows into your mind, warping you until you're more servant than sorcerer. The Scarlet Witch, Doctor Doom, and countless others have crossed paths with it, and every time the fallout is catastrophic. Unlike a single-use weapon or a flashy relic that blasts fireballs, the Darkhold is endlessly reusable and endlessly corrupting. It doesn't just break the rules of reality, it rewrites them in Chthon's language of chaos. That's why it ranks at number 9. It's not omnipotence in one neat package, but it gives mortals and monsters alike the tools to twist fate itself. The price? Your sanity, your soul, and probably your friend's safety. Think of it as the Marvel Universe's worst self-help book. The more you read, the worse your life becomes. Number 8, Imkron Crystal. At first glance, the Necron crystal just looks like an oversized alien gemstone. In reality, it's one of the most important pieces of cosmic furniture in the Marvel Universe. Known as the nexus of all realities, the Shi'ar guarded this artifact as less of a weapon and more of the multiverse's hinge. Mess with it, and you risk slamming every possible door in existence at once. The crystal first crashed in X-Men lore back in Uncanny X-Men 107, and it's been a reoccurring cosmic headache ever since. Within its depths lies not just raw power, but an entire inner realm, sometimes depicted as a city that holds together the fabric of countless universes. Shards of the crystal alone have been used to transport characters across realities, like when refugees from the Age of Apocalypse found their way into Earth 616. At its worst, tampering with the crystal has sparked multiversal calamities, with the Phoenix Force and other cosmic players dragged into the chaos. What makes the Necron crystal so terrifying isn't that it blows things up, it's that it connects everything. Control it, and you endlessly hold the keys to interdimensional travel, reality convergence, and possibly the fate of infinite worlds. Break it, and you're basically pulling the plug on the multiverse. That's why it ranks at number 8. It's not a wish-granting cube or a corruption-fueled grimoire, but its role as cosmic infrastructure makes it just as dangerous. It's less a weapon and more a keystone. And when a keystone cracks, the whole structure comes down. Number 7, All Black, the necrosword. Most weapons promise power. The All Black necrosword promises something much darker: the ability to butcher gods like cattle. Forged at the dawn of creation by Null, the eldritch god of darkness, this living blade is less a sword and more a symbiotic parasite with a taste for divinity. It doesn't just make its wielders strong, it turns them into a god slayer, and not in the poetic sense. The most infamous user was Gore the God Butcher, who picked up All Black and proceeded to wage a holy war against the very concept of deities. With the blade, Gore carved through pantheons, built armies out of living shadow, and even forged a symbiote empire that stretched across time itself. The sword can shift form, create shields, weapons, or entire monstrosities, all while corrupting the land and life around it. In its lore, it's shown to be more than strong enough to kill celestial-class beings, which is about as high on the cosmic food chain as you can get without being an abstract embodiment of reality. But here's the catch. Wielding All Black is like signing a contract in blood. The sword binds to its user, whispering, corrupting, and ultimately hollowing them out. Its power is intoxicating, but it leaves nothing pure behind. That's why it sits at number 7. The necrosword doesn't rewrite reality like a cube or reshape multiverses like the Necron crystal, but by toppling gods and dismantling divine order, it effectively changes how the Marvel cosmos is policed. It's not a tool, it's an extinction event with a blade. Number 6, Molecule Man's Wand. It looks like a simple wand, but don't be fooled. This stick once held the keys to rewriting everything. Molecule Man's Wand started out as Owen Reese's supposed power source, back when Marvel thought he needed a prop to explain his absurd abilities. Later, retcons revealed the truth: Reese's reality bending was innate. But the wand stuck around, and it turned out to be much more than a magician's pointer. In multiple storylines, the wand has acted as a container for Owen's very life force. Drop his body, and his essence could linger inside the wand, ready to possess whoever picked it up, even if it's a random snake. In Avengers number 215 to 216, it served as a survival vault, allowing Reese to keep manipulating matter and energy even when reduced to little more than a consciousness. Over time, it was also shown to function as a focus, channeling the kind of power that, thanks to later Beyonder-related revelations, we now know operates at a multiversal scale. In other words, it wasn't just a magic stick. It was a portable anchor to one of Marvel's ultimate reality architects. Why does it put it so high at number 6? Because unlike most weapons that blow up cities or freeze realms, the wand provides access to powers that can reframe the entire multiverse. Even if Owen himself is the true source, canon has repeatedly used the wand as his vessel, meaning whoever controls it potentially controls him. And if history proves anything, you don't want a pocket-sized molecule man falling into the wrong hands. Number 5, the Cosmic Cube. Ever wish you could snap your fingers and make the universe bend to your will? Well, the Cosmic Cube is basically that fantasy in box form. Created by AIM back in the Silver Age, these glowing cubes are reality wish engines. Whatever you want, they make it real. No limits, no caveats, no three-wish nonsense. If you can imagine it, the cube can manifest it. Whether that's rewriting history, building a new world, or giving your enemies a really bad day. Over the years, cubes have been the ultimate cheat device for Marvel's biggest schemers. Red Skull, Thanos, and other power-hungry types have all tried their hand at reshaping reality with one. The results range from catastrophic rewrites of entire populations to the creation of entire pocket universes. And sometimes the cubes don't stop at being tools, they grow up. More than one has matured into a fully sentient being like Cubic, or the Shaper of Worlds, gaining not just godlike power but also a personality. At that point, the cube isn't just granting wishes, it has its own. That's why cosmic cubes rank so high at number 5. They're not tied to one domain, like time or souls. They're open-ended reality editors limited only by the wielder's imagination, and sometimes the cube's own maturity. They don't just change the power of balance, they change the very rules of the game. Sure, wielding one responsibly can make you a benevolent god, but let's be real. Most people use them like toddlers with permanent markers. Messy, destructive, and impossible to ignore. Number 4, Ultimate Nullifier. It's small, it's unassuming, and it could delete you and possibly your whole universe like hitting empty recycle bin. Meet the Ultimate Nullifier, the most terrifying handheld device in Marvel history. First introduced in the legendary Fantastic Four Galactus trilogy, this little gadget is the one thing even Galactus, the devourer of worlds, takes seriously. When Reed Richards points it at him, Big G didn't laugh, he backed down. That's how scary it is. The nullifier doesn't twist reality, create illusions, or spawn new worlds. It erases. Whatever you aim it at, God, abstract, cosmic horror, even an entire dimension, simply ceases to exist. No loopholes, no clever comebacks, no it'll be back in the sequel. It's absolute removal. But here's the catch. Using it isn't just about pushing a button. You need willpower and focus strong enough to control it. Otherwise, you risk wiping yourself out right along with your target. In other words, it's the galaxy's deadliest elite key, but with no undo option. Across its history, the nullifier has popped up as the ultimate trump card, capable of ending just about any threat in Marvel's hierarchy, from rogue gods to reality-bending artifacts. Its sheer finality makes it stand apart from tools that merely reshape existence. Where the cosmic cube rewrites, the nullifier just takes out the eraser and scrubs reality clean. That's why it sits at number 4. Few artifacts can scare Galactus into retreat, and fewer still can end literally anything. Small device, infinite consequences, handle with extreme caution. Number 3, Infinity Gauntlet. It's the most famous fashion accessory in comics and also the deadliest, the Infinity Gauntlet. Slip 6 glowing rocks into one golden glove and suddenly you've got dominion over everything that matters. Time, space, reality, mind, soul, and power. On their own, each Infinity Gem is a nightmare. Together, they're basically the universe's operating system handed over to whoever's wearing the glove. The Infinity Gauntlet's definitive showcase came in Jim Starlin's 1991 saga, The Infinity Gauntlet. Thanos, in a rare moment of ambition, assembled all 6 gems and immediately rewrote the universe to suit his ego. He erased half of all life with a snap, bent physics into nonsense, toyed with time like it was silly putty, and even humbled the cosmic abstracts, entities like Eternity and Galactus themselves. The Gauntlet turned him into the most unstoppable force in creation, able to unmake or resurrect anything we thought of. That's why the Gauntlet stands as Marvel's ultimate symbol of practical omnipotence. It doesn't just bend rules, it makes them. When wielded by someone with the will to use it, the Gauntlet can change the universe on an immediate, irreversible scale. In terms of raw, story-tested power, the Infinity Gauntlet is the crown jewel of Marvel artifacts. It's the reason this snap is pop culture legend, and why one glove can terrify gods, heroes, and fans alike. Number 2, the Heart of the Universe. Sitting among the top of the Marvel Cosmics toy chest sits something so broken, so unfair, that even Thanos with the Infinity Gauntlet would look underpowered. It's called the heart of the universe, and in Marvel, The End, Jim Starlin used it to answer the question, okay, but what if someone was literally everything? The heart isn't a sword, a cube, or even a gauntlet. It's a singular energy source, a cosmic engine that fuses directly with its wielder. Whoever holds it doesn't just command reality, they become reality. When Thanos got his hands on it, he didn't just snap fingers or rewrite timelines. He rewrote the universe itself, casually dismissing cosmic abstracts like they were side characters in his personal drama. The Living Tribunal? Irrelevant. Eternity? Outclassed. Thanos didn't just sit on the throne, he became the throne, the kingdom, and the air everyone breathes. That's what makes the heart such a one-off nightmare. Unlike the gauntlet, which still has rules and limitations tied to 6 stones, the heart simply says, congrats, you're omnipotent now. It's the purest form of narrative power, absolute sovereignty for as long as the story demands. So why rank it number 2? Simple. Every other artifact on this list besides the next one, no matter how insane, still operates within Marvel's cosmic hierarchy. The heart doesn't play by those rules. It is the rule. If the Infinity Gauntlet makes you a god, the heart of the universe makes you the author. Number 1, Astral Regulator. Some artifacts bend reality, others blow up planets. The Astral Regulator, it tells the multiverse how to behave, like the cosmic hall monitor nobody can ignore. Introduced in Jim Starlin's modern Thanos epics, the Regulator isn't just another shiny trinket. It's a piece of the architecture that keeps universes distinct and functioning. Think less weapon and more system administrator password for all of creation. In Thanos the Infinity Conflict and the Infinity Ending, Thanos gets his hands on an Astral Regulator and promptly does what Thanos does best, break everything. Using it, he absorbs cosmic abstracts like the Living Tribunal and even higher above all style authorities, pulling their powers and responsibilities into himself. Normally, these beings are the checks and balances of Marvel's hierarchy, the ultimate referees. With the Regulator, Thanos didn't just bypass them, he made them irrelevant. The device grants structural authority, letting its wielder reassign or outright consume the roles that govern existence. That makes it uniquely terrifying. Unlike the Infinity Gauntlet, which gives you near limitless power within one universe, the Regulator operates on the framework level, deciding how universes are separated and maintained. It's essentially the code editor for the multiverse itself. That's why it earns the number 1 spot. It doesn't just let you play God, it lets you absorb the gods who were supposed to stop you. Well, that's it for this one. If you liked the video, hit the like button, subscribe for more, and ring the bell so you never miss a drop. Craving more stories from comics, movies, and beyond? Check out the video right here. Cheers. See you in the next one.